this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin vs. the World. I'm SeptumSin. Today, we're doing another movie stroll. I'm a little bit out of breath today, so I do apologize if I have to pause for a moment. But I did want to go ahead and share this information with you. So, we're going to go ahead through 10 more groupings. And this first one is a really awesome collection. I got it for $3, and to me it's worth every penny. That's this Miramax Complete Prophecy and Hellraiser collection. This is 11 films. Unfortunately, they're all double-sided, but I guess you're fitting 11 films in there. There's not much to it. But you're getting all of the Prophecy films. So you're getting, the Prophecy, Prophecy the Ascent, Prophecy Uprising, Prophecy Forsaken, and let's see, Prophecy and Evil. I've got a cat here that he's usually locked up during filming, but he decided to come on. Evil Forces, there we go. Yep, the Prophecy, Prophecy 2, Prophecy 3, the Ascent, and Prophecy the Uprising, and Prophecy Forsaken. Now the Hellraiser films, the first 2 are not on here, but it does have Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser Inferno, Hellraiser Hellseeker, Hellraiser Deader, and Hellraiser Hellworld. It's really hard to get all the Hellraisers on one set because it was different production companies, but you get a huge chunk of them on this little collection. And so even though it's a stacker, even though it's a double-sided, it's still worth having. I really didn't mind the transfer. To me, this is just a good compact way of getting a lot of good quality horror films. The Hellraiser is more of that body horror type stuff, and the Prophecy is sort of a religious angel stuff, sort of like how Legion was, except done well. So, that's just my thought on it. So, next up. So we have the film 12, which is a Russian version of 12 Angry Men. Now, this film is quite good, but does not have any special features at the time. 12 Angry Men is, I'll go over that. Well, actually, yeah, I'll have to go over that else times. So I'll talk to you what that is right now because I have it on a different set. Not a big for cover art, but 12 Angry Men is essentially a bunch of jurors deciding what to do with the case. All of them think he's guilty, but this other person is like, and he slowly works his way around. So it's really awesome, really intense, extremely good acting. As far as remakes go, this is really good. I really did enjoy it. Also, just a disclaimer, I am not an expert when it comes to film and entertainment. I am just somebody who really enjoys watching good film, good TV, good movies. I know what I like. So, if there's an opinion or something I got wrong, you can let me know in the comments below. I do appreciate it. Sometimes it's great to learn more about it, and I am frequently wrong, as I say. But that's the great thing about it. Sometimes you miss something, but other people can do it. This is where it is. And this is the difference between having somebody who is a trained film critic or even a trained filmmaker doing these types of things. Because me, I'm just a viewer. And that's an entirely different perspective. Well, and collector. I like to collect these. So another one which I find is a great film, Terry Gilliam film, 12 Monkeys. I like this cover. Also, look at the color of this case. I don't think I have any other cases that are that color. I mean, let me know in the comments if there's any other movies that have a case this color. I don't know. But, of course, pretty good box art on the back. And a little bit better disc art. So this is a movie set in the future where there's a deadly virus. And Bruce Willis is going back in time to try and right some wrongs about what happened to spring this. It's a pretty intense movie, very awesome thriller, kind of different from a lot of the stuff Terry Gilliam has actually made, and he's an exquisite director. Bonus features are commentary with director Terry Gilliam and producer Charles Roven, The Hamster Factor, that is right, yes, and Other Tales of 12 Monkeys, theatrical trailer, 12 Monkeys archives, and production notes. If you like a good sci-fi thriller, this is really pretty good. Okay. Next up is a compilation, which is 12 Movies Fright Fest. I like this cover. I really do. I think it's pretty cool. They've got it, and they got all the titles just sitting underneath here, and all of them over here. Of course, there's not that many special features because of it. Not really much to look at here. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of scratches on one of these, but they all play. And I have this for a couple of movies. Now I'll point them out as we go. Evil Behind You. I'm not as familiar with that one. There we go. So let's start about her. Devil in the Flesh. She's not young, beautiful, sexy, and dangerous. Debbie Strand is the new girl in the class that everybody notices. What Debbie wants, Debbie gets, no matter what's standing in her way. As a checkered past of unsolved murders catches up to her, Debbie's games threaten to turn deadly again. Then Devil in the Flesh 2, which, the first one is Rose McGowan, and now this one is Jodie Lynn O'Keefe. Escaping from mental institution, Debbie Strong steals the car, money, and identity of a college co-ed and heads off to college where murder and seduction rises to high, more terrifying than ever before. Then we've got Diary of a Serial Killer. Let's see here. On a rainy night, dark alley, award-winning journalist Nelson Keese witnesses a vicious murder. Although horrified, his curiosity takes over as cold-blooded killer forces Nelson to interview him. The tension mounts, and as fast as the body count rises, while the killer stalks the streets. Okay. Evil Behind You. Lisa Williams, Deborah Reynolds, awake, locked in a dark observation room. Deborah's husband Tony, and Lisa's boyfriend David are both handcuffed to operating tables. With no explanation, the inducted couples are unwilling victims of a scientific experiment. So this one, The Fear, is one that's really kind of cool to have on here, though I do have a copy of it, and there's a reason for it. When we get to it later on as we go through this, I'll tell you why. But This one's a very cool one. It's sort of like a psychological experiment with this wooden doll that takes on the form of somebody's worst fears. It's a really cool movie. I really like it. Ice Cream Man is another one that I'm glad I have this for. It's a really cool movie. And this one is about an ice cream man that's killing people and turning them into ice cream. Jack Frost 2, which is pretty much one of the other ones. It's like basically that one and Ice Cream Man were the two that I got this for. And that one is Jack Frost, of course, is this killer that was changed into a snowman, and this time he's at a tropical island. The first one jumped the shark. This one jumped like 50 sharks, and I just love it. I love the mayhem. I love the craziness of it. The Killing Grounds, after a fatal crash of an airplane in the high Sierras, 6 greedy strangers clash over a fortune in stolen gold. Then Nina, which is on the day of a solar eclipse, 5-year-old Nina loses her parents and eyesight in a freak car accident. 20 years later, she is bestowed with a gift of sight thanks to the marvels of modern science. Her period of darkness is over. A horrifying period begins. Night Feeders. In a remote southern wilderness, fiery meteor crashes to Earth, forever changes mankind's view of the universe, for this meteor unleashes infestations of nocturnal alien creatures. The Other Side. On the night Sam Noah plans to reunite with his girl he loves, he's mysteriously murdered and sent to a horrific realm of the damned. And then Within the Rock, which is a kind of like space alien movie. So not bad. 12 films. I got it for $5. Hard to beat that deal. Now we're moving to something completely different, which is 12 Years a Slave, Academy Award-winning film. I got it at Costco for $10 when Costco still sold DVDs and Blu-rays. So that was the slipcover, so I've got this. It doesn't really give you much extra there, but it is a pretty cool, it's a lot of white. You get this 12 Years a Slave digital code, which has been used. My wife typically uses the digital codes. Special features: a historical portrait, explore director Steve McQueen's unique artistry, bring this remarkable story to life, and a documentary including cast and crew, the team, and the score. This film, some people feel is overrated, or it's like it's not the first one, but people treat it like it was the first slave film. It's like it wasn't, but it was still an extremely good film about it. And on top of that, it just was an excellently told and acted story. This is about a free man, essentially, who was captured and then sold into slavery in the South back when, if you were free like that, that was highly illegal, but you had to prove it. And it's really hard to prove. To me, there shouldn't be any shortage of these types of films. People need to understand the history. People need to be able to learn from the history. And I feel like there's so many times people try to erase that history. Really good film. If you haven't seen it, you should. It deserved the awards it won, in my opinion. Alright, 13 going on 30. This is actually my wife's, not mine. But still, I've seen it. You know, basic things. This young 13-year-old girl ends up basically changing places with, well, not changing places. She ends up becoming this 30-year-old, sort of like Big for girls, essentially. So, it's not bad. Jennifer Garner film. You can see the, there's the disc art, and I got a little insert in there. So, there's a lot of special features. 18 deleted and extended scenes, blooper reels, 2 filmmaker audio commentaries, I Was a Teenage Geek featurette, making of 13 on 30, Pat Benatar's Love is a Battlefield, and Rick Springfield's Jessie's Girl music videos, 80s outfit challenge. Then and now, set-top feature companies, modern day convenience, and their 80s counterparts. You know, it's interesting when you look at this. This here has a lot more going for it than many Criterion films do. And that's sad. Criterion should make that look like nothing. But it doesn't these days. Another Oscar winner, 20 Feet from Stardom, which is about backup dancers, specifically Beyonce's backup dancers. And it is pretty cool. You get to see a little bit into their world. It's a documentary. It's a pretty well done documentary. If you're interested in the music field and all that, it's well worth it. If you're like me and you're trying to collect all the Oscar winners, it's definitely worth it. You get deleted scenes, short film The Buddy System, Q&A, Darlene Love, Mary Clayton, Lisa Fisher, and director Morgan Neville. So not bad film. These last three are in a series. They're based on a comic book, and that is 20th Century Boys. I actually worked hard because this one I had as a bootleg for a long time because I could not find the legit Viz release of this film. These are out of print, unfortunately. The comic that is related to this, that this is based on, is also really good. I hope they do an anime of this one day. It's kind of like a Stand By Me with a kaiju film mixed. It's got a lot of cool elements to it about this group that had pledged that they would protect society from this evil. Then one of their friends has decided that they were going to make the evil come true so that they could actually form this alliance. It is a really cool and convoluted story that is just awesome. I love this trilogy. I'm really glad to have it in my collection. Now these other two I already had by Viz when they came out, which is the sequel, Last Hope, which just got here. I got this new, you can tell. The other one I got used. But you can see this is kind of a Japanese insert there. And then, of course, the last one, the third one, Redemption. Matter of fact, that first one I had to refit with a new case and everything. But I got it cheaper than the others. If you find these, you should pick them up. They're well worth it. I still got the bootleg of the first one just sitting there where I threw it. When I originally got it in the pickup, you could look at if you're really astute and you find the pickup that it was in, you can see we just go. Whoosh. It's still where I tossed it. So that's it. That's everything this time around. I hope you've enjoyed this pickup. If you like it, click that like button. If you enjoy this content, please share. We'd love to get more subscribers, and we enjoy all of the content. And of course, please comment. I usually catch them. If I am alerted the comment is there, I usually answer them to the best of my ability. I try my best. Unless it's one of those like fake wannabe friend ones where they're trying to hack your account. Otherwise, it's pretty good. So I hope this has been good, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.